Yo guys, it's your boy Stray J Downs. This is something you don't hear often. So this video you're about to watch, it got claimed, it got deleted. The FFA actually took this down earlier today, and you're just going to see the other bits. And if you see it, obviously I say in this video, show you the highlights now. The highlights were about 4 minutes each. Each of them got claimed, and then the MyFootball Australia, they took the video down. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So hopefully you enjoy and enjoy. Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Stray J Downs and welcome back to another video. Today we will be reviewing match day 3 of the A-League. Let's get into it. So, how we do this is we have a look at the games that I predicted, and then what I'll do is I'll show you the highlights from each game, right? So, the first game was Brisbane versus Melbourne Victory. Now, I predicted a 2-1 win to Victory, but FIFA predicted a 1-0 win to Brisbane. Now, both of the predictions, FIFA 20s and my prediction, both of them were correct in a way. Okay, so I did predict the winning team, but FIFA did predict the winning scoreline, a 1-0 win to Victory. So, got a bit of burp and drinking a lot. Here are the highlights. Now, as you can see there, it was a very dominant game by the Victory. So the shots ratio was very close. Oh god, if I could stop burping. Far out. Melbourne Victory completed about 650 passes, and Brisbane Roar only had like mid 400s. So the percentage rate, if I can get the stats up here, I can. Were very, very, very different. So Melbourne Victory obviously did dominate that game. If I can get the stats up right here, here we go. Brisbane Roar, Melbourne Victory, here we go. Oh my god, okay, here we go. The stats for this game. Brisbane Roar, 17 shots to Melbourne Victory's 10. Further away than I thought. Both had 4 on target. Brisbane Roar had 67% possession. Brisbane Roar completed 650 passes to Melbourne Victory 337. But Brisbane Roar had 84% possession or pass accuracy. Melbourne Victory at 72. 16 fouls conceded for Brisbane Roar, 13 for Victory. 7 yellow cards in the game. Now that's interesting. They both, so far this season, have a very, very bad disciplinary record. They were both 2 offsides each, and Brisbane Roar dominated the corners. So it seems that FIFA 20 was very close to predicting that game correct. They probably should have deserved it, but Melbourne Victory should have scored another one. And Roy O'Donovan, how do you miss from that close? How? So, enough about that game, the better. Alright, so next up, we have the Jets versus Adelaide. Now, both of our predictions were wrong. Last week, I said 1-1 draw. Wrong. FIFA 20 predicted a 2-0 win to the Jets. Also wrong. Let's see how that game went. Now, as you can see there, a very, very entertaining game. Obviously, that goal by Riley McGree, who scored off the corner, was very, very interesting. But let's go into the stats. So, Abdiel Orio, who did score for the Jets, Panamanian international, played at the latest World Cup. He did score the only goal for Panama, interesting that. Newcastle did dominate though. 18 shots to 12. 8 on target to 4. 55 possession to 45. They had a better passing accuracy of 77%, and they had just a bit more fouls but less yellow cards. They have a very, very good disciplinary record. Obviously, that's only their second yellow card of the season. 1 offside, and they dominated in corners from 8 to 7. But Riley McGree has done a bit of magic again. He scored 2 goals. One of them was a normal, decent goal. Sunday League, that would happen there. But that corner goal is very rare. I mean, you'll see that most of the time. You'll mainly see that type of goal in Sunday League. The goalkeeper's usually rubbish in Sunday League. But they did dominate. No doubt about that. I don't know what to say because the Newcastle Jets did deserve at least a point in that game. Obviously, Adelaide did come off winning 4-0 against Melbourne City in the FFA Cup final. I thought they'd be buggered, like tired as hell, man. But surprise, surprise, Riley McGree has done a bit of magic again. So, next game is the Sydney Derby, which was at the new Parramatta Stadium or Bankwest Stadium, and it's a very controversial game. I'll just show you the highlights and then we'll talk after it. So, highlights right now. There's no doubt about that game. The Sydney Derby. I predicted a draw, 2-2. FIFA 20 predicted a draw. They've been robbed. Sydney FC have been robbed. There's no doubt about that. They dominated the game. Stats here. Sydney FC had 20 shots. Mitchell Duke's Western United had 10, but only 2 on target for the Wanderers. So they were pretty clinical, but with Sydney FC getting 20 shots and only putting 4 on target, and I don't... people are coming in my room in the front center. Sydney FC dominated. There is no doubt, obviously. 68% possession to Sydney FC. 68. They completed 79% of 549 passes, which is 450 or something, whatever. Western Sydney Wanderers conceded 14 fouls. Sydney FC only 7. There were 7 yellow cards in this game. 3 offsides to Sydney, and then Sydney FC dominated in corners. Western Sydney Wanderers were so lucky. There was no doubt about that. And our Wanderers are top by 2 points by a team that we haven't talked about yet. So, the next game is Wellington Phoenix versus Perth Glory. FIFA 20 and I both predicted a 1-1 draw. Let's see how that game actually went. So, as you saw there, Perth Glory dominated that game and Wellington Phoenix really could not control them. Kim Soo-boon was outstanding that game, and so was Diego Castro. Perth Glory really dominated the possession. Well, I actually didn't know. Wellington Phoenix had 52% possession, 58%, and Perth Glory only had 42%, but what Perth Glory did with the ball was important. They had 13 shots and 8 on target. That's the most clinical out of anybody this week. Wellington Phoenix had a really, really high pass accuracy, higher than usual. They had less corners, surprisingly. What else? They also had 14 fouls conceded, Perth Glory, and only 2 yellow cards, so they were lucky. Perth Glory are now 4th, and Wellington are dead last. They haven't won a game all year. They haven't scored more than 1 goal in any game. So, Perth Glory win it again. What can you do? Next, the last game of the round is Western United versus Melbourne City. FIFA 20 and myself did predict a 0-0 draw, but let's see how the game actually went. Now, that game was really dominant by the Melbourne City. Yes, they was very dominant by City, even though they didn't have possession. Didn't have much possession in that game. But what they did with the ball was special. 15 shots, 9 on target. Western United, 15 shots, 6 on target. So Melbourne Victory have got shots on target. And by the way, Jamie Maclaren, who scored the 2 goals... what was that voice crack? The 2 goals for Melbourne City is out for the next 3 to 4 weeks because of a hamstring tear. You didn't see that, but he had scanning today, and he'll be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Now, another big talking point in that game is the red card. Harrison Delbridge slide tackles Besart Berisha from behind, obviously, as you saw there when he got sent off in the 64th minute. Now, the only problem is, I think he might have sent off the wrong person here. I don't think he actually tackled him. I think it was the other guy who pushed him over into Delbridge. Now, I don't really think so, but I'd say so because of how well tackled he was. So, I don't know if Besart Berisha dived, because I think he did, but I'm not sure, because I don't know, you know? So, Besart Berisha obviously scores another goal, as he does. He's so clinical. Same with Jamie Maclaren. Jamie Maclaren obviously does bits for the national team, so I mean, he scored 7 goals in the last 3 games for the national team. He is that clinical that you really can't say much about him. They're actually not showing him in those highlights. So now, before I go, I am going to give you guys 3 players for Man of the Match. You must pick them down below, so I'm expecting at least 3 comments for these choices. So, my 3 people that I just think deserve Man of the Match this month. We're not going this week because it's the end of the... I think it's here. The October Player of the Month. So, these are the 4 players... Well, I was going to say 3, but these are the 4 players that are my pickings for Player of the Month. We're going to start off with an outsider, and then we're going to go into the 3 big boys. Number 1, Milan Duric. Milan Duric has had a good month for the Mariners, scoring 2 goals, getting them he's the only person that scored for the Mariners. He scored some outrageous goals. So he probably deserves to be in the Team of the Week. Not just Team of the Week, but Player of the Month. Now, the 3 players that I properly think who deserve are Riley McGree, who scored the 2 goals for Adelaide against the Jets, Jamie Maclaren, and Mitchell Duke. Yeah. Obviously, these guys are all goals. No, take out Mitchell Duke for Keanu Backus. Keanu Backus has had a good month defensively for the Wanderers, obviously keeping a clean sheet against the champions, and obviously scoring an absolute welter against Victory last week. So, this is the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my absolutely rants about football, because I enjoy it. Hopefully you do. And if you do, subscribe, like the video, comment your Player of the Month, and also, I don't know what I'm going to say. It's been your boys JJ Downs. See you next one. Peace.